Do you think it's okay to not speak English that well? What kind of social media do you use? How much do you think that racism exists in school? What electives do you take? What are your favorite K-pop groups?
지난 영상에 이어서 Q&A 2탄이 시작되겠습니다. 혹시 Q&A 1탄을 아직 보시지 않은 분들은 이 영상 시청 후에 1편도 봐주세요. 이제 본격적으로 들어가 봅시다.
Do you think it's okay to not speak English that well? Because a lot of kids in Korea are afraid that they're not confident in their English and they're kind of scared that it might affect from them making friends.
My parents, whenever they moved here, my dad, well, he learned English like whenever he was younger at school, but my mom, she learned it as an adult. So when she moved here, like she wasn't very fluent and she did a lot of learning in the United States, like at her work and everything.
Yeah.
I think you do need to know like essentials to like if you need help with anything or like anything that comes up, you need to find a way to like be able to communicate even like where's a phone or something like that. So I think essentials are necessary, but otherwise like I think that you can do a lot of learning here like through experience. There's definitely
Yeah.
going to be people that you can find that speak your language, and there's definitely going to be people that are like open to like help you and everything. So
Yeah.
I don't think that it's necessary for you to like already know everything because like it's part of the experience, like moving to somewhere else, like learning more.
Yeah. Aislinn.
Being surrounded by people who speak English every day and like going to restaurants where the menu is all in English, it's a lot. I think it's a lot easier to learn
Yeah.
a new language when you're surrounded by
Yeah.
that language. So even if you don't speak English very well, you will be able to learn a lot easier than if you learned it in a different country where they don't speak English that often. And in school, if English is not your first language, there is a grading curve for like tests and assignments and stuff. So if you like,
Really?
yeah, that's what Miss Rose told us last year.
I was not aware of that.
Like if you misread a question on like a test or something, you won't get like the normal grading. I don't know exactly what the curve is, but it definitely helps out with your grades and stuff.
Oh, that's neat. Do I
I
get that?
definitely I think there's like a lot of resources and like schools are like willing to help you. Like Esther, I saw one of your videos like whenever you sent me your YouTube channel, and I saw
Yeah.
like the one that was most popular, and
Ah.
I loved it, by the way. It was absolutely
Which
amazing.
one was it? Thank you.
It was like the tips for like high school.
Oh
It was
my
like the
gosh, that was
questions
my
one.
second video and I cringe at it looking at it.
No, it's so cute. But you did talk about like how you use your dictionary and like teachers
Oh.
will like allow that and everything. And like I think that's a way many teachers are. And whenever I was like in elementary school, I was in this program where like people who don't have English as their like first language were like able to use dictionaries and like schools and like things like that. But then before middle school, like I took this exam for like English, and like they saw that like I was like a good speaker, so I'm not like part of that program anymore. But like what I'm trying to say is that there's many resources
Yeah.
out there, so you're definitely not alone.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to boost your English up. Boo. Yeah. What kind of social media do American kids generally use?
A lot of the people I know use like Instagram. I have Instagram. There's also like TikTok. I don't use TikTok, but I know it's like super popular.
Yeah.
And then there's Reddit. If you want good memes, get Reddit. It's
I use mostly Instagram and TikTok, but I know a lot of people also use Twitter.
I've seen y'all like do Snapchat.
Yeah,
Erin.
for me, and
I use Snapchat a lot.
I don't use Snapchat as much as I used to, but it's still very popular.
I use Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Those are
Pinterest,
like the
me too.
three. Yeah. I don't know. The thing that I didn't like about Snapchat is like I guess I didn't have like a very good experience with it. Like I felt like more like when I had it, it was more in middle school where I was like a little bit more like insecure, like sometimes had like a lower self-esteem. And so
Yeah.
it's like a lot of like back and forth and like seeing like what everyone is doing. And like I don't know, I just deleted it and I did like I have no regrets. Like I
Good job.
prefer I prefer like TikTok and Pinterest where like you see things that aren't just like the people that you go to school with, you know? It's like you like see like an Instagram, I like following a lot of like celebrities, but then like also like a lot of organizations. And like I also like learn a lot too. And like TikTok too, like it's very amusing and it's not like seeing like what everybody in your grade is doing. It's more like enjoying yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Pinterest, of course, is just like a
Art.
dream.
Love Pinterest.
Yeah.
Quickly adding on mine, I have Instagram and Pinterest, and I do have Facebook, but I barely use it.
How much do you think that racism exists in school?
Well, I mean,
Like,
absolutely, it varies between the states. And as with like school, they're not openly racist, not at all.
no.
But they did wait until like there was 5 days left of Black History Month to say anything about it.
You're definitely gonna find racism everywhere, like everywhere, and even in like the world. You know, there's
Yeah.
always gonna be the people that are ethnocentric, and you know the people that always are racist. But I do think that the like in the United States there is a bigger diversity of people. It's not very like having a population of like 99% white. There's a lot of immigration from many other countries. So
Mhm.
I do think that does help by having more diversity. But even though we do have diversity, like there is still
Yeah.
racism.
Like some people don't change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in school, there used to be more people, like in my experience, that were racist towards me in middle school when
Oh.
people think that it's more of like a joke or, you know, they're just trying to be funny when it's obviously not. But
Yeah.
I think that as soon as like I started gaining like more confidence and not allowing those people to talk to me the way like they did, then they like stepped down and they like stop or just like not hanging out with those people. In high school, like I was able to make a bunch of new and better friends with like a more diverse friend group, and I haven't really experienced that much.
Oh, great story. Thank you.
Also, sorry, I would just like to say I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm Mexican, so that's why
Yeah.
I know I look white, but
I knew. I don't know how I knew. I knew. Huh.
I don't
I don't
know.
know how. I don't remember how. That's cool.
I was gonna say that racism, like the intensity of racism, definitely varies from state to state. And if this is to a Korean person, a Korean student who's gonna come to America, if you go to a more diverse, you're definitely gonna have a better experience, or at least relatively. But
Yeah.
as a Filipino American, I do unfortunately have a lot of experience with racism. Some more mild, but there were a lot of instances that were quite crazy.
Aw.
And so I think that you just have to be careful what groups you're in and don't become friends with everyone just because you feel bad for them, you know?
Okay.
Only trust people who you like know are good people.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, schools, I mean, at least the schools that I've been to have not been openly racist, but they don't do a lot to stop racism. Even in US history in 8th grade, and I take US history next year, so we'll see then. But in 8th grade, I mean, they did teach us about slavery, but they didn't teach us exactly how bad it was. And so, you know, and they didn't teach us that, like, racism was still a very, very prevalent thing today. And me being white, I don't experience racism and I don't see it. that often. So after the death of the murder of George Floyd, I educated myself a lot, and I still try to do it as often as I can. But like,
Yeah, I've seen your Instagram posts about all the history.
yeah, I did a lot of research on that over the summer, and like, I was extremely surprised.
Definitely, as you just said, Aislinn, a lot of the stuff I had to self-educate because they don't teach you the things that are just true, you know? So definitely, like, same thing, like I had to self-educate myself. And I was just like you, completely shocked about a lot of things that I was never told that I 100% should have been told. More like people make comments. Like that will really get to you, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to know your self-worth and be your self-advocate, you know?
Yeah, protect yourself.
Protect yourself and don't listen to what people say.
School doesn't teach us that, like, in the 21st and like in this present time there is still racism and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. They just teach us like as if it were a history. And I think a key of like, you know, reducing racism is to like have people like you guys educate yourselves. But that's something that, you know, people have to do on their own time. So I definitely think that they should like implement that, but then again, you know, that might bring up a lot of like political things. But I do think that like our school doesn't do a very good job talking about racism. I don't like let those people determine my self-worth and to not be ashamed.
Personally, the last 2 years, excluding the Zoom school, I personally didn't feel that anybody bullied me or teased me for being Korean or Asian. I really didn't experience racism, but according to you guys, school doesn't educate enough about racism, and they should. And there are certain racism that happen here, but you have to protect yourself for it, and it can vary depending on the state. Right, okay. What electives do you take? Because America has much more fun subjects than Korea, I think.
I guess I'm just decided to torture myself, and I'm using one of my elective spots as AP Stats, which is a terrible idea. Don't ever do that. I'm lucky I have a really nice teacher though. So I take AP Stats, orchestra, and medical terminology, which is helping for the healthcare field, and they're pretty cool. So.
Aw, that's a very cool class.
Well, I'm in choir, and then I know like French is required, or in a language is required the first 2 years, but next year and my senior year too, I'll be using an elective spot to keep it going. So I'll be doing French for that. And then, do you want clubs?
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Okay. I'm in French club, and then I'm also in the Paws Cause Club, which is like the animal shelter club.
There's the animal shelter club?
Yes, there's an animal shelter club.
Aww.
That's like literally perfect for me because animals are my life.
Aww.
But yeah.
What kind of instrument do y'all play?
Our voices.
Yeah.
Violin. Amanda plays a viola.
Yeah.
You're a viola girl?
Yeah.
Any other electives you want to add on, or?
Me right now, I'm taking 2 choirs and softball. Softball counts as a class. It's not like an outside of school.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
I take art, and next year I'm gonna take 2D design, and I might take fashion my junior or senior. I'm not sure, and I'm taking Japanese. Is that it? Oh, Principles of Education and Training. Yep.
You like?
Nice.
I took that last year. I really liked it.
know. the teacher's so nice. She's very sweet.
I take orchestra, and I do, like, for my language elective, I take Latin. And this year I'm taking computer science, but next year I'm also going to take orchestra and Latin, but I'm going to take Model UN, which is like Model United Nations. And for organizations, so I'm actually in multiple organizations. I'm an officer, and an officer, like, for people watching it, it's like a person who has like a higher position in organization and it helps run it.
Imon.
And so I'm an officer in Alpha Theta, which is like the National Math Honor Society, and in Key Club, which is a community service organization there, in orchestra, which is like, there's also like officers though, like for our outside events. I'm one in there too. And then I'm in DECA, which is like a business organization where you like compete in many parts of business, like finance, entrepreneurship, marketing. And this year I did like a paper of an international business plan. And
Ooh.
like I compete in it like by giving a presentation. And yeah.
That's very fancy. Yeah, I'm an officer in NAHS, National Art Honor Society.
I would like to say that if you are a student transferring to the US and you want to do like a bunch of really advanced classes, I would absolutely suggest choosing an elective that you know you're going to enjoy. Like for me, I enjoy choir a lot, and that's why I'm in 2 of them. Taking an elective that you enjoy on top of like all the stress from schoolwork and stuff is a really good way to relieve stress, because you know you're having fun, you know, in school. So
That's a very nice way to put it. Thanks. I think this will be our last question. Drum roll. What are your favorite K-pop groups or singers or actors?
BTS is my favorite. I've also gotten into Tomorrow by Together recently, and NCT, like all of the groups, like all of the NCT groups, and ITZY. There's so many. I'm sorry.
No, go on.
I also watched Live On, the K-drama recently, and
I don't know that one.
yeah, I think it came out recently.
Oh,
And
you know better than me.
I binged it in 2 days.
I only know because one of the members in TXT was in there.
Uh-huh.
And I binged it in 2 days
Yes.
and I accepted it, so I want to watch more.
Oh, do you watch with like subtitles?
Yeah, because I don't understand.
Yeah. I think you and Amanda know how to at least read Korean, right?
I know.
Is-
Yeah, I know a little. I mean, I've been studying for
Yeah.
like since 2019, I think.
Oh.
But it's hard to keep up because I'm teaching myself, and I'm also not Namjoon, so I can't teach myself by watching a K-drama.
Oh.
So
I mean, that's
Uh.
still awesome. And I heard that Alex is also like starting to learn Korean. Yeah.
The week we had like off of because of like the
So,
weather.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I started listening to this podcast. I would definitely recommend it. Look,
Oh.
it's called Korean with David. It's on Spotify, and I've been like listening it. So I've learned how to like introduce myself and like say like a couple phrases like that.
Oh.
I'm into BTS. My sister has been like in the fandom for like since 2016. So like I've kind of like grew up like middle school and like high school knowing about them, but probably like this quarantine was like when I actually like really got into. But she's always like showed me videos and things like that. So I really like their music. My favorite album is the Wings album. I can't pick a favorite song, but like that album's amazing. I also really like TXT, and I've lately been getting into like Korean R&B, like Dean and Crush and Kai, which I really like. And lately as well, I've also been into like a lot of Korean dramas and like films. I'm watching this one called Startup right now, and I finished one called True Beauty, and other ones that I've seen. And I do want to watch more like Korean films, like Korean movies. I want to watch Parasite because it won an Oscar, and like I really want to see it. Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. Oh my gosh.
I saw this one called
I'm sorry.
I saw this one called Forgotten, and I also want to see Train to Busan. So
Oh wow. No kidding. Y'all know much more about Oh my.
I forgot to mention one group. They're called Seiso Neon. They're not. I butchered that pronunciation. I'm sorry, but
It's
they're
okay.
not K-pop, but they're like alternative.
Oh,
also Twice and Red Velvet.
they're good ones, good ones. That has been a long Q&A, longer than I thought, but it's okay. I'll somehow manage to edit it.
Okay, just to the people who are watching this, I know that we did say some negatives about the United States, like in the schools there, but please don't be discouraged. Like
No.
wherever you go, you're gonna find amazing people, and it's mostly like the experience that you're gonna get here. Like you're gonna find like a really good education and like a passion or things that the great thing about schools is that there's like so much flexibility. There's so many options, and there's so many things that you can do and that you can learn. So I would definitely, or if you're even thinking about like transferring to a US school, or I don't know, like
Exchange
studying abroad
student.
maybe for like a
Yeah.
term, I would really suggest it, because you might find things here that like you never knew you were so passionate about, and like end up like devoting a lot of your life to that or something. And if you are, or like already like know that you're gonna transfer, like, well, good luck, and I wish you the best.
Yay. Yeah, 100% agree to that. There were some hard stuff like homework and school and stuff, but I feel like there were 100% more fun than the negatives for me, at least personally. So yeah, wish y'all
We
the
should
best.
do one about talking about the fun things, because we were kind of.
Yeah, there are a lot of fun things at school, like homecoming, prom in the future, and like there
Friends.
are football games every Friday, and there's a lot of like you can make a lot of friends every class. So yeah. Thanks for watching this video, everybody. Please comment down below any video you want to watch in the future, or any questions you have about American school. And these were my awesome friends in the US. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.